And here we are. Uh, I am Bob Reynolds, and I am very excited about geography. We have spent years and years trying to create the best geography software on the planet because I really believe that geography knowledge is important. When you meet somebody from around the world or even in your neighborhood and you say, "Where are you from?" And they say, "I'm from Kenya." You can say something nice about Kenya. When they say they're from Bangladesh, you can say something nice. And that's the important, to me, the importance of geography knowledge is being respectful for people from around the world, be able to say something nice and interact because you'll learn so much. I have learned so much just by talking to people who I meet. And I'm going to, I'm just practicing. I had the guys from the New Jersey guys were with me in Puerto Rico. And it seems just whenever they're even just around, do better because I don't know if it's just the influence that they have on me, or they know what buttons to click and they know how to make things work better. And uh, so there we go. So anyway, the light is on. That is on, and I'm going to show you how in just 24 minutes, you can learn the names and locations of an entire continent, South America. In 24 minutes, you can learn the names and locations of all the countries of South America. I'm going to do this a few times, and let's change the banner so that it says, I'll create a new banner. It's going to scroll across, and it's going to say, this we start this we start every 15 minutes because it's only going to take actually 15 minutes to save that. And I'm going to this one off. I'm going to hide that one, and I'm going to show this one. And let's just get right in. I'm going to set up the, let's go to here. I'm going to set up the game. Can I edit that? If I edit that, does that bring the number one guy, which is me? That make him bigger, taller, whatever, bigger, taller, bring over here, the number two guy, that's the number two guy that makes him, bring him over here, bring him over here. I don't know how I do this. I'm going to switch to a different layout. I'm going to cancel that change, whatever that is, cancel the editing on that. And I'm going to show you how you as a teacher or a student, a parent as a child, or someone who just cares about geography, cares about the world, because when you learn about the world and you know where people are from, you can say something nice to them. And it's not just to make them feel good, it's to make you feel good as well. Because first of all, it gives you confidence. When I meet someone new from somewhere, I say they look different, they've got an accent, they speak different clothes. And I say, "Where are you from?" And when they say, "I'm from Denmark, the Czech Republic," I met a guy from Nicaragua, Guatemala. Met a guy from Guatemala at a sports bar last week. And I just simply said, we're chatting. I said, where are you from? He said, I'm from, see if I can figure this out to work. He said, I'm from Central America. And I said, no, I want more specifics than that. And he said he's from Guatemala. And because I know where Guatemala is at, I said, oh, that's right next to Honduras, just above Nicaragua. And he was surprised. We chatted just as respectful human beings who are not afraid of each other. You don't have to be afraid of people. Let's try different things here. Let's try, I don't know what this does. First of all, I got to turn this, it's already on. And I'm going to change the volume or the brightness. I don't know if that's doing anything. Well, I can see a little change, but not much. Okay, so I said to him, I said, where are you from? And he said he's from Guatemala. We visited, talked about whatever TV game was on. I think it was one of the NBA final games, the tournament, which the New York Knicks won. And we chatted, and after the game was over, I'm still watching another game. I watch the Indiana Fever when it's on. And I'm going to see if the Indiana Fever on. When is the Indiana Fever? I don't think it's on today. I think it's on later. But so his game ended, and he got up to leave. He says, nice chatting with you. And we shook hands and headed on. I think he felt good. And I felt good. One of the reasons I felt good is because I feel like when I'm nice to people, it's like I'm really doing what I got plugged in wrong. I get plugged in wrong. I tell you what, I don't know how this thing works. No wonder it gave me an error message. Okay, so now let's see if I can turn that on. Okay, that's much better. 79 years old, guys. 79 years old. So when you see what I am doing, just think to yourself, I could probably do better than that guy. I could probably do it faster than that guy. And yes, you definitely can. So I'm going to get in and play the game for, let's see if this goes off. See if I've got spam calls here. And from what Mark tells me, he's the leader of Click and Learn. From what he tells me, just be casual and pretend and just act like you're talking to one of your best friends. And if your best friend wants to comment, he can comment. He can type a comment. If you type a comment, I'll see it. But so here's what I'm going to show you. First of all, I'll tell you what I'm going to show you, and then I'll show you, and then I'll tell you what I showed you. If you're my age, you know that's what we were taught, how to present something. Tell them what you're going to show them. Show them, and then tell them that you show them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get in and we're going to learn the names and locations of all the countries of South America. And I'm going to get into this layout. I'm going to go to clickandlearn.fun. You go to clickandlearn.fun, and you don't have to be signed in. You do have to be signed in to play our thousands of games, but every week and every day that we give a streaming session, during that streaming session, you will be able to play the games that we're playing along with us. So here's how you get into the game. I click the button that says free this week, and it shows me the games that we have set up to be free this week. We were in Puerto Rico last week for 8 days, just got back late last night. And the guys all wanted to learn the names and locations of the 78 municipalities. So we made these games free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Made 6 games for Puerto Rico free. I've also got one of our viewers who watched our first live stream, and he just amazed us with how much he knows about geography. So, and I said he's from a state, and I said, I can put your state up and you can learn the names and locations of the counties. He said, I already know all the names and locations of all the counties of my state. He said, but I'd like to try Texas. So we made this set of games free for him. This is a folder. When I click that folder, there's a lot of games in that folder that he can play. I'm going to collapse that. And we also then, because of this live stream right now, we made this game free during the live stream. So you can go to, I'm going to collapse and we'll start over and show you how to get there. You can go to clickandlearn.fun. And when you get there, click the button that says free this week. And these games will show up. And while these games are showing up, you can play them for free. And I'm going to show you how you can learn the names. Here's, first of all, I'm going to cancel that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to click the game for South America countries. I simply click that thumbnail and I click single player. Okay, I've got the volume turned off so that I can talk and you won't hear the echo. You can leave the volume turned on or off if you wish. But when you click the go button, there's going to be 7 buttons on the screen. We're learning countries of South America, 7 countries at a time. 7 is a magic number. If I put all 50 states on the screen and say, where's Alabama? That would be frustrating if you don't know where Alabama is located. But when there's only 7 buttons on the screen, you know that Alabama is somewhere in the South. So it's easier to find. That's why 7 is a magic number. So it asks up at the top, it asks for Argentina. You can play along. You can go to clickandlearn.fun, click the icon at the top, which was 1, 2, 3, the 4th one from the left. When you click that icon, thumbnail, it's going to bring you up all of these games. You can play any of these games that are free, but for right now, we can play this game together. So let's click the button that says, the thumbnail that says, says South America countries, and follow along for a minute while I show you how to play, and then you can play. I click single player, and I click go. At the top, it asks for Argentina. One of these 7 buttons is Argentina. We're going to be racing the clock. When I click the correct button, watch what happens. I click the correct button. The button disappears. I get a green light and the button disappears. And the question changes to Bolivia, and we're racing the clock. We only have 10 seconds to do this, and already I've passed the time limit. So we're going to play this and see what we can do. It asks for Bolivia. Maybe this is Bolivia. I click that one. Notice I got a red light. I got a red light because that's not Bolivia. Okay, it was Colombia. So even when you click the wrong button, it tells you you're still learning because it tells you this is Colombia. Okay. Still asks for Bolivia. Maybe this is Bolivia. No, I got a red light. It says that's Ecuador. Okay. But notice up here the show me button. Anytime that you go for 5 seconds or more without clicking the correct button, the show me button appears. Click the show me button, and it tells you where, in this case, Bolivia is located. Notice that. Click the show me, it shows you This is Bolivia. Okay, it asks for Brazil. Click the correct button. It asks for Chile. I know this is Chile, but I want you to see that the show me button pops up there to show you this is Chile. It asks for Colombia. No, that's Falkland Islands. Is this Colombia? I got a green light, the button disappears, and now it asks for Ecuador. I know this is the Falkland Islands because I got that wrong a minute ago. So this must be Ecuador and the Falkland Islands. I was 74 seconds over that time. It takes about 4 plays to get the first 7. So let's play that again. I click the go button. It asks for Argentina. Let me think. I know this is Brazil. The clock doesn't start until I click the first button. So you can think. This is Brazil. This is some island down here. Okay, this is Argentina. Now watch what happens. I click the correct button. I get a green light. The button disappears. The clock starts. Question changed to Bolivia. And we're saying, okay, that was Bolivia. It asked for Brazil. Okay, Chile. Okay, Chile is long like a red or green chili pepper. It asked for Colombia. I know these are the islands, so that's not Colombia. One of these two is Colombia. Okay, I got that wrong, but I know that's Ecuador. So when it asks for Ecuador, I will know that's one to click. It asks for Colombia. Click this button. Okay, I know this Ecuador, and I know this is the only button left. That must be the Falkland Islands. Notice we went from 74 seconds over to 28 seconds over after just the second play. I click go. Okay, I remember this is Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, and this looks like Chile. Okay, Colombia. One of the, oh yeah, that's Colombia. Okay, Ecuador, and of course, Falkland Islands. Now we were 6 seconds over. It only took 3 plays to get to that point. Here's some things I want you to do. I want you to say the question out loud. When you whisper as you click, it helps you learn and retain the information faster. I know that you're not out here because you want to spend 2 hours learning countries of South America. I know that if you're here, you don't want to waste time. You want to learn the countries of South America as quickly as possible. So 2 things. I'm going to get back to here and I'm going to talk for a minute. You know, when you're in little league, and when I was in little league, first of all, I was terrible. But I had the bat on my shoulder, I'm waiting for the pitch. And the coach says, no, you don't leave the bat on your shoulder. You leave it up here. And there's a couple of other tricks, like when he's about ready to pitch, lift the leg and be ready to put all your power into it. Those things that's what the coach tells you. And just pretend that I'm your coach. And when I tell you that it's much easier if you use a real mouse, you get a mouse for $15, much faster. You want to waste your time with a touchpad, move it around. First of all, it takes longer. It's not as accurate. It takes longer to get there. But additionally, there are 7 different ways that students learn. Some study was done from Harvard. The guy whose name is Howard Gardner, I think it was. Gardner. And he said that people learn interpersonally, they learn from each other. Intrapersonally, they learn within themselves by, in this case, racing the computer, playing against the computer. They learn visually and logically, and this is this logical system. We teach this alphabetically: Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and so forth. But if you use a mouse, it's easier. And one of the multiple intelligence is kinesthetics. Just like golf, I took golf lessons. I had a friend that tried to teach me, and there's nothing against him, but he just plain failed. I couldn't learn. But he did tell me, you don't do this, you do this, and your body swings you around to where you see wherever the golf ball goes. That's kinesthetic, and you play that over and over, and you get to where you know the muscle memory, they call it. You know, it's muscle memory, and you can get to do that. So let's get back into that's the reason a real mouse is important, and it's important that you whisper as you click. So I'm going to get back into playing the game. It asks for Argentina. We've played it 3 times now. We know that this is Argentina. The question changed to Bolivia. Question changed to Brazil. Question changed to Chile. Question changed to Colombia. Changes to Ecuador. And it changed to Falkland Islands. But notice we did not beat the clock. And here's the thing. I'm going to click go, and I'm going to tell you something important. In order to beat the clock, you don't have time to look at the question each time. You don't have time to say, I wonder what the next question is going to be. Because the way we teach it is Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and so forth. So I'm going to play without, and that's another reason for whispering. Whisper as you click, because I know I'm going to click Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and Falkland Islands without even looking at the questions. So I've got 10 seconds. I'm going to do this in like 6 or 7 because I know that it's Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and Falkland Islands. And I beat the clock with about 4 seconds left over. So I did that in 6 seconds. Now, so I've mastered that first level. I'm going to click go, and we're going to master the second level. We got 14 buttons on the screen, but you already know the first 7. You already can clear the first 7. You can already, and if you're playing along, play along, whisper as you click. Argentina, I'm going to go through this without looking at the questions for the first 7. Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Islands. Okay, that was pretty quick. Okay. Now it asks for, now we have 7 new ones up there. We know how this works. I can use the show me button. It asks for French Guiana, but I'm not going to give up and use the show me button yet. I'm going to click around. It asks for French Guiana. Okay, that's Guyana. Let's see what this is. Okay, that's Venezuela. So this is Guyana, Venezuela. Let's see what this is. Okay, that's Peru. I'm going to go ahead and use the show me button. Okay, this is French Guiana. Now that's for Guyana. Okay, one of these 2 is Guyana. This is Guyana. Okay, that's Venezuela, but I know this must be but Guyana. It asks for Paraguay. This is Venezuela, so one of these other 4 is Paraguay. Is this Paraguay? No, that's Uruguay. Show me Paraguay. Okay, I remember Peru. This is Venezuela, I remember, and this is, okay, now that's for Uruguay and Venezuela, okay? Okay, that's 44 seconds over. Click the go button. We're going to fly through the first 7, okay? We're going to fly through Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, and Falkland Islands. Now we've got the next new 7. Okay, I know it asks for French Guiana. One of these was French Guiana. That was Guyana. Okay, that's Suriname. So this is French Guiana. Okay, Guyana. This is Guyana. Paraguay. One of these 2 is Paraguay. Uruguay. So this must be Paraguay. Peru. Okay, I know this is Venezuela. It said that's Uruguay. So this is Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, and Venezuela. We were only 15 seconds over. Look how quickly you improved. You went from 44 seconds over to 15 seconds over. Click the go button. We're going to fly through without looking at the question. You already know that after you click on Argentina, move the mouse up to Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Islands. Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Islands. Let's fly through that. Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Islands. Okay, now the next 7. I know this is French Guiana and this is Guyana. So I'll quickly click French Guiana, Guyana. One of these, I think this is Uruguay, this is Paraguay, Peru, this is Venezuela, this is Suriname. It asks for Uruguay and Venezuela. I was only 3 seconds over, so this time we're going to beat the clock. Without even looking at the questions, I know that. You can do it with your eyes closed. Well, you can't click with your eyes closed, but you can think with your eyes closed. Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Islands, French Guiana, Guyana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, and Venezuela. We beat the clock by about 8 seconds. Okay? We have gone through the entire list of countries of South America. And whether it's 50 states or 50 countries of Europe, 31 countries of Southeast Asia, you go through all of those 7, 14, 21, 28, 31, whatever. Once you master them in alphabetical order, then we move on to random order. When I click the go button, all the questions are on the screen, but they're in random order. It asks for French Guiana. One of these, we're still going to be racing the clock, but in random order, you get 2 seconds per time. Play along with me. Play along with me. Okay. It asks for French Guiana, Venezuela. Remember that. Paraguay. One of these two is Paraguay. Okay, that's Uruguay, so this must be Paraguay. Brazil, big Brazil. Suriname is kind of centered. Argentina. Colombia. Colombia is connected to Panama. Colombia is connected. That's my clue. You might have your other clues of different ways that you think about it, but that's Colombia. Chile is like a big red or green chili pepper. Falkland Islands, easy. Guyana, was one of these 3. That's the only button left is Guyana. That's Guyana. Peru, Ecuador. Ecuador's on the equator, although we don't see the line through there. That's the equator. Uruguay and Bolivia. Okay, 21 seconds over. That's pretty good for the first time in random order. Click the go button, and random order, that's for Bolivia, Argentina, Suriname, Paraguay. I know this is Uruguay, this is Paraguay. Ecuador on the invisible equator. Uruguay, French Guiana. Chile, like a chili pepper. Peru, Guyana, I remember that. Venezuela was up the top. This is Colombia because that's connected, so this must be Venezuela. Colombia, very cool. Brazil and Falkland Islands. We were 4 seconds over. Let's do it again. Uruguay, Uruguay, Ecuador, Peru, Suriname, Bolivia, French Guiana. Okay, the buttons are disappearing. That makes it easier. Big Brazil, Paraguay. One of these is Paraguay. This must be it, Paraguay. Guyana, Colombia is connected. Argentina, Falkland Islands, easy. Chile, and Venezuela. Okay, 2 seconds over. Let's do it again. But this time, I'm not going to talk. I'm going to focus. I'm going to concentrate. I'm going to get rid of all the distractions. Click go. Okay. Brazil, Uruguay, Falkland Islands. The buttons are disappearing. Ecuador, Paraguay, Bolivia, Guyana, French Guiana, Guyana, Chile, Argentina, Venezuela, Peru, Colombia, Suriname, and French Guiana. We beat the clock just by 1 second, I think. But still, we beat the clock. And now we go to the next mode. The next mode is test mode. I click the go button. All the buttons are on the screen. In test mode, you're not racing the clock. And when you click the correct button, you get a green light, but the button does not disappear. And also the show me button does not appear, so you can't use that. If you get it wrong, for example, I get it wrong, it asks for Brazil. I'm not, yeah. Okay, I'm going to get this one wrong. So I get a red light. Notice I get a red light. Okay, still the question changed to Falkland Islands. You don't get a second chance in test mode. Guyana, Colombia, Chile, easy. Argentina, the first one alphabetically. Venezuela, Ecuador on the equator. Uruguay, Suriname in the center. French Guiana, Bolivia, Peru, and I got one wrong, and it tells me which one I got wrong, and I got a 92%. So when you don't get 100%, it gives you the button to try again. If I click the go button, I start over. Anytime you run out of time, and if the bell rings, you got to do something, you got to go someplace else. Anytime in the middle of the game, you can use the emergency exit up at the top left corner here. But we're going to click go, and we're going to see if we can get 100%. Okay, Chile, that's easy. Falkland Islands, that's easy too. French Guiana is one of these three. I remember this is French Guiana because there we go, that's Guyana. Suriname is in the center of those three. Colombia is connected, and you'll have your own clues, your own ways of helping you. A friend of mine, actually our programmer, noticed that Venezuela is wider at the top and thinner at the bottom, kind of like the letter V. V for Venezuela. At least that helps, okay? It might help you. Peru, one of my friends says, it's kind of bigger up at the top and, it kind of looks like letter P with this kind of a stretch, but anything that you figure out to help you will work. Okay, now it asks for Bolivia, Paraguay, Argentina, Brazil. I've answered 12 so far. I've got 2 more to go. I think I've got green lights on all of these. Uruguay and Ecuador. I got 100%, okay? That is how easy you can do it. And if you played along with us, I'm going to exit. If you played along with me, you can, I saw 2 guys and 2 kids, one's 14, one's 12 in Los Angeles. I showed them how the system worked. They sat down at their laptops and less than 5 minutes, they were all score 100% on. Let me show you something else. I'll tell you about the goals of our system. How do I get here? Here we go. Okay. The goals of our system are be able to recite the 50 states in 50 seconds, the 31 states of Mexico in 31 seconds, the 14 countries of South America in 14 seconds. Let me just show you. I turn on this little thing and I'm going to click the go button. I'm going to click the go button. The goal is to be able to recite in 14 seconds because there's 14 questions. Did it start? What did I do? Didn't start. Okay. There we go. Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Falkland Islands, French Guiana, Guyana, Paraguay, Peru, Suriname, Uruguay, Venezuela. We did that in 11 seconds. That's one of the goals, to be able to do it in 14 seconds. The other goal is to be able to take a blank map of the 50 states or South America or Puerto Rico and show that you can identify. And when I'm doing this, I do not need to know how to spell Argentina. It looks like it's backwards. I tell you what, I don't know how to do this thing. I do not know how to spell Ecuador. No, Ecuador's on the equator. Okay. But I can write a B for Brazil, a P for Peru. And by doing that, I show my teacher or myself that I do know where those places are located. Those are the goals. Be able to score 100% on the blank map and recite all countries of South America in 14 seconds. So let's get back into this. I did say that I'm going to do this a couple times. Right now it's I've been doing this 30 minutes, and I'm going to do this quickly. If you're watching, you can go to, let me show you where we go to. You can go to clickandlearn.fun, and I'm going to start over. I'm going to go just plain to clickandlearn.fun. Go to clickandlearn.fun and click the thumbnail. It says free this week, and it's also free while we are live streaming. When you click free this week, you get all of these free games. This is the game we're going to play. You can play along with us. And in the comments, let us know how you do. If you're playing, and whisper as you click, use a real mouse. It's alphabetical. And it might seem a little tedious. And you might have to even block out my voice as you play, because you need to eliminate all the distractions. In fact, just get in, play, ignore what I'm doing, ignore what I'm saying, block me out, mute me, whatever. And let's see how you do. And when you do it, I want you to give us a comment. For example, wow, I just beat the game, and it only took 12 minutes, or whatever, okay? And that comment will appear on your screen if you're, well, I just beat the clock. And when I see these, what do you call it? When I see these comments, I might display them on the screen, and it tells you that someone said they just beat the clock in 12 minutes. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. That's how the system works. You can play along with us. I'll show you once more, and then I'm just going to let you all play. And I'm going to let you play. I'm going to let you comment, because you guys are going to be, in a way, you're going to be a co-presenter. And if I could do that, figure out how to do that. But here's the thing. We respect your privacy so much. We do not put you on the screen because it's nobody else's business what you're doing. Nobody else's business what you're learning, what you're playing. And you can play this game. I tell you what, we're going to leave this game free all day long. So even after this video, after it's over, you can go to clickandlearn.fun. You can follow what I just showed you, and you can score 100%. Or when you score 100%, give me a comment, and I'll just be sitting here doing nothing but watching the comments and encouraging you. But here's the other thing. The guys were in Puerto Rico last week. 78 municipalities. That's a lot to learn, especially if you don't speak the language and you don't know how to pronounce Canovanas, Port Ponce, Culebra, Quebradilla. If you don't know how to pronounce those, it takes longer. But let's say, even with my poor pronunciation, one of the guys in 2 hours on it one day, 2 hours the next day while we're in Puerto Rico, sitting around to even play the game. And after just 4 hours, he was able to score 100% on Puerto Rico. I tell you what, I'm going to go there. This is another free game right now. This is a different type of game because this starts out in test mode. It starts out in review mode. I'm going to switch to test mode and click single player. I'm going to turn off the volume, and it looks like I got the microphone still on, so I didn't mess that up yet. But I'm going to go to this game. I'm going to click the go button. At the top, it asks for, and here's a cool thing. We practice so much that I think I can really pronounce these. Orokobis, Naguabo, Naguabo. If I get a green light, I got to correct. I got to talking to a friend today. One of my friends from Knoxville, he took his church kids to Puerto Rico. And he said they stayed in Toa Alta. So it asked for Toa Alta, and this is where he stayed. So when I'm talking to friends, and they say they've been to Puerto Rico, and they tell me where they've been, we can have a conversation. So yeah, that's on the Maguez. Got a green light. La Reyes. This is Lajas, La Reyes, Isabella. Let's see if I can get 100%. I'll tell you what, I'm only going to do the first 20. I've answered 6 so far. I'm going to do 20 and see if I can score 100% for those first 20. Yabucoa, green light. Lajas, green light, random order. Cialis, Guanica, emphasis on the first syllable. Ceiba, Salinas, down by, this is Salinas, this is Santa Isabel, that's for Salinas. Got that. Sidra, green light. Caguas, green Aguadilla. And I'm pretty proud of myself to be able to pronounce these as well as I think I'm doing. Dorado, Luquillo, beautiful beach there. We went to the beach twice. Luquillo, Gurabo, green light. Sabana Grande. I've answered 19 questions correctly, or answered 19. Notice when I click the next one for Vega Baja, notice right up here in the right-hand corner, a new button's going to appear. That's for Vega Baja. I click that, I got a green light, and that button appears after 20 questions in test mode. That button appears, and you click it, and it'll show you which ones you got right or which ones you got wrong. And I got all green, so I get them all right. I got 100% up here. So that is pretty cool. You know, it's so cool. It is so cool that I wake up in the middle of the night. If you got a comment, you want to say something, go ahead and send me a comment. But I wake up in the middle of the night and I say, I'm going to see how I can do on Puerto Rico. I click this button. I switch to test mode, and I click single player. And there again, we go through those 20. I'm going to go through 5 here just to show you what we're doing. I click the go button. It asks for Lajas. I get a green light. It asks for Culebra. Let's say I click Sebas. Instead, I get a red light, okay? So I've only got one wrong. I'm only going to do, okay, let's do Guayama. Let's do another 20 Guayama. Sabana Grande, I'll fly through these. Oramagueros, I'll fly through these. Catano, okay, Aguadilla. I know I've got one wrong. Adjuntas. Follow me along just for a couple more minutes here. Rio Grande, Monabo. Monabo. Okay, here we go. I don't know what's wrong with my mind. This is got that wrong. Guaynabo. Okay, this is not Guaynabo. Naguaba. Got it right. Vega Alta. And I got that right. Mocha. Guayania. Right down here is green. Añasco, a green light. 7, I've answered 16. Camui is over here. Juana Diaz is this one. Arroyo, Las Piedras. I've answered 20. This button appears. I got 3 of them wrong. One I got wrong on purpose to show you how to get it wrong. But it wouldn't ask for Guanabo or Bana or Manuabo or Borabo. I switched them in my mind to click the wrong ones. I got 85%. I'm going to click the exit button. But the thing is, you can play along. You can get in and play. So let's go back to that. And I'm going to do that one more time. Let's do this. Let's fly through South America. I'm going to show you another thing. I'm going to fly through South America in test mode, single player. I'm not trying to brag about what I'm doing. This is not me that can do this. This is the software helps. And if I can do it at my age, you can do it easily. So let's get in and play this game. Let's go to go button. We're in test mode. Venezuela, Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Bolivia, Colombia, Peru, Guyana, French Guiana, Guyana, Paraguay, Suriname, French Guiana, Ecuador, Falkland Islands, that's 13, Uruguay, 14, I got 100%, so that's how that worked. I wonder if multiple people can play at the same time. I wonder if it's possible for me to bring people in without showing their face. I wonder if it's possible to bring people in without showing their face. And I'm going to ask my programmer about, I can see why multiplayer would be kind of more fun. And maybe it's multiplayer between two people. Maybe we just play two people at a time. Because that way you can actually play not in a team, but you can play one-on-one. A grandmother can play the grandson. An uncle can play the nephew. A mother can play her daughter, or a mother can play her grandmother. If it's one-on-one, I'm going to talk to Dell about that, because that sounds something I would like to do. I would like to have me and someone else on the screen playing against each other. And then we pick someone at random from the live stream and let them play. I'm going to talk to Dell about that. Okay, but I mean my programmer. Okay, so that's how the system works. I've been on for 47 minutes. We don't have anybody watching right now, so I'm going to drop off. I'm going to end the stream, and I'm going to talk to the guys in stream, and